Okay. Vinny G, what's up, man?
What's up, Jared A?
Yeah, fucking yeah, as I was
here.
mentioning, what is it called? I literally yeah, before this whole COVID shit happened, I had gotten this camera and I was going out to local shows and like messaging all these events on Facebook and being like, yo, do you guys need a photographer? Do you guys need a photographer?
Awesome.
And fucking I ended up getting into some shows out here.
That's how you do it. Yeah, good shit.
It was mostly like live bands and stuff. And I went to maybe like 3 or 4, and then the shelter in place happened. Or then they announced coronavirus. That's what happened. They didn't do shelter.
And then coronavirus was announced.
Yeah, it was just announced. And I was just like, nah, I'm gonna just
coming soon.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, that fucked all of our shit up.
Here we are, 2021.
Man, right when you had something going to.
It was about a year ago. I know I was doing corporate AV, and I was getting deathly sick of it. Not deathly sick. Okay, that's a little exaggeration. I was getting
choice of
words.
Going
a little crazy though, man. I mean, you're just sitting on ass all day for 10, 12 hours.
Oh, absolutely.
Present, you know.
Yeah.
Not
producing. So usually we can sit on our ass 10, 12 hours. Just.
I know exactly. That's the.
No, having to just focus on something else.
We're being creative while we're doing it, though.
Exactly. So it's not like being bored.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking.
But it doesn't pay nearly as much though. These corporate events.
Yeah, I guess depends how you get into it, right? You know, it's that.
Too bad these corporate events don't need DJs.
Once in a blue moon, I've seen a DJ or like a live band.
Okay.
And it's your very straightforward top 40 cover band. And
gotta get the CEOs on their feet, you know? The stock's going up.
The sales pitch is going.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's that world. But yeah, so I mean, it's time to get new creative ways in addition to music.
Yeah.
Why we're doing this call?
It's hard. Oh. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
coming
dude.
Out of our shell a little bit.
I know we had chatted on the phone the other day about basically one of the main reasons why I wanted to get you on is because of this fucking album, dude. This album was super tap, and I ended up getting a good chunk of I pretty much played it all the way through, but I listened to it on my phone, and
Thank you.
I had listened to it just recently in here in the system, and because I was listening in the car and on the phone, and because I was working outside doing construction stuff, and I listened to it in here, and I had like totally misrepresented of how good this actually sounds, and I was like holy shit, dude. Like,
I was expecting another way around, considering I use headphones to mix this whole album. That's so crazy. I'm glad it translates well to your studio, because I know you spend a lot of time getting your studio sounding right, and like that's something I could never like take the time to do. I never had the space to do that. Fuck.
So wait,
I made do with what I had, and I can't believe it worked. Thank you.
Yeah, dude, and that's so cool that it just goes to show that like if you're just a technician who knows his tools, you can get shit done, dude. And I said
all
that
about referencing too.
Exactly. Plenty of other videos of like, dude, you don't have to have like all this crazy shit. I just do it because I like it. And if you just know what you do, and I'm sure you've seen other people with crazy, you know, like just simple workstations that are like whipping things out like no tomorrow,
Phineas,
right?
You know, Billie Eilish, her brother Phineas, to the producer. Like he's got like his speakers are on like a bookshelf facing like perpendicular behind him and some shit. They still live in their mom's house, but it's just like they've been producing in that little space for so long that they just know it.
Right.
Grammy Award-winning artist, man.
Wow.
So yeah, it's definitely all about learning your tools, referencing, just having that experience, I guess. And it worked out for me. That means a lot, man. Thank you.
Dude, no, totally. I mean, because
your mixes are always been pretty tough.
It's
since the beginning.
Wow, man.
Kind of insane.
I mean, as much as I tried to like work on like, you know, more basic systems and stuff, I would for some reason I just could not. I mean, I would even try, I had like, you know, multiple headphones at one point, just to like go back in between them and seeing if I'm missing anything, and like trying to go into the car and trying to go on my phone. And I just could not get it. I mean, like, I mean, maybe it's just my ears or my skill set to where I just am still spending a lot more time trying to fine tune it just because of my workflow. But like, and that's why I've like expanded so far, because I'm like, dude, what am I missing? What am I missing? But then again, you know, it's like, maybe it comes back to like, that's just my workflow. Like,
the fundamentals.
I kind of need a little bit more, something that's a little more detailed and that has a lot of more options. Like these speakers they have this, it's like this little EQ setting, and it's like a a monitor emulator. So it's like there's one flat, there's one that says it's a little out of focus. There's one that says old school, one that says cube, and one that says hi-fi. I think hi-fi just puts the highs and the lows. The old school mocks an NS10, the old Yamahas, basically cuts out bass and puts out more mid, and then the cube, it's supposed to like have an EQ response of a mix cube. And sure, they may not sound exactly like the speakers, but they serve as a purposeful tool.
Yeah, exactly. It still gives you these separate reference points at like a click of a knob, a twist of a knob.
That's why it blows my mind that you did this on headphones, dude. Sorry, wait, what'd you say?
Oh, that's invaluable right there. Just having that like ability to reference things different ways, like off the bat. Right. Like, I'm always switching to mono in my headphones, like back and forth. And like, I'll try and stay in mono as long as I can, just because I know that like, if it sounds good in mono in my headphones, it's definitely not going to have too much stereo phasing that I won't be concerned of in real monitors, considering all the phasing is happening in mono. So once you kind of figure that out, unmono it, and it's just always worked for me, I guess.
Have you always been doing that for like even previous?
Yeah,
really?
Everything since the beginning. I guess I've been since the beginning. I haven't really used monitors like extensively. I do have monitors at home that I use sometimes, but I'm used to my headphones at this point. Like,
how long it's just not
set up properly. These headphones I got maybe a couple months ago, honestly, but I fucking jammed. Not a couple months ago. I want to say like 7 or 8 months ago. A couple months ago. Listened to a bunch of music, broke them in, like DJ'd on them a lot. Get that reference, and then started producing on them. They sounded a lot like the headphones I was using before, which was the Audio Technica ATH M50Xs. Those are good, but like they had a lot of high end that really was fucking with my ears a little bit. Like when you crank it up, it would hurt after a while. And I've had those headphones for like 5 years, so I didn't realize that those were just shitty headphones. Sorry if anyone has them. They're really good headphones, but like there's better headphones that don't hurt your ears when you crank them up. Right. And for me, it's these Pioneer headphones, and I got them like not for their like sound quality, but because like I know they're gonna last a long time. Like DJ headphones, you can throw them in a bag, like do whatever. It's gonna last hopefully 10 years. Hopefully it'll sound the same after 10 years too, and that's
they're usually built pretty good though, right? You know, most of the
definitely.
A couple of the Pioneer ones I had, those things were pretty tank, like, and that was good 8.
That's what I'm hoping for. It's a little pricey, but fucking so worth it when you think about how long you're gonna have it.
You get what you pay for, man.
Definitely.
That holds true pretty well, you know, especially if you're buying new.
Yeah.
I'm still blown away that you fucking pumped out 25 tracks, and like they're all like really similar in like timbre. They're not like huge jumps of like, you know, overall frequency response.
I try to kind of make it flow a little bit. Oh, I see what you mean, like mixed cohesively.
Yes, that's a great way to put it.
Mixed session. Like I definitely would complete every song. I would listen. I would just take notes on everything. Go back and redo everything and try to like all like in one day I'll kind of work on like 13 songs, just mixing them down generally, trying to get them in the right playing field, like get the right loops, all that stuff. But that was fucking hell. That sucked. To do that for like all those tracks, it was like mind-numbingly boring at a point, just because like it's so many. You want to just create. There's a point where for months I wasn't making anything new. I was just kind of mixing this down. And I don't know. I need better workflow when it comes to working on long projects.
That's
like
what it
this.
takes sometimes, man. You know, especially if you're packing a punch with that many tracks on it, you know, it's like that evenness does really, that one that's off will, potentially
it just sticks out, and yeah, you just when you listen to it a lot, you just gotta fix it yourself. Sometimes a kick transient's a little too crazy. You gotta tone it down a little bit.
I am no
that one kick or whatever.
I'm having a hard enough time just working in this one track right now and going back in and listening to it and going back in and re-referencing. And what are you using as a reference point? I want to ask. Like, it's like a bass reference. Or using
I had like a session where I dissected my favorite tracks and just see like what the structure was, how the effects breakdowns happen, just so I like know, kind of like a painter, you know, like when they paint an apple or something, they're looking at an apple just so they know what the apple looks like. Like, so I was referencing a lot, like the Spectrums, all that, Chris Lake, Walker and Royce, a little bit of Dom Dalla, a lot of tech housey kind of stuff. And yeah, I like took bare notes, and then from there I kind of just developed it into my own thing. I like to grid things out pretty quickly, I guess. Like, I guess you sketch out your stuff, drums, bass, leads, all in like a 4-bar loop, and just make it like the craziest 4-bar loop ever. And then I'll just grid it out from there and like try and define my structure, like intro, build up, drop, before anything else is done. Like as the sketch is there, I'll just write how the structure is, and then it kind of fills itself out from there. It's like filling in the blanks rather than like trying to work on something, what is that called? Statically, I guess, like trying to linearly, right, okay, this part and this part and this part. I kind of attack it from a macro point of view. And then you can really write shit really quickly. And that's kind of what I've been working on. So the tracks might not be too exciting arrangement wise. Some tracks, they get tempo switches and stuff, but I just wanted to work on writing shit fast. And then I just spent all that time mixing it down.
Gotcha. I mean, dude, the fact that you say that you work, kind of went through in that process. I mean, some of these grooves and like the drum patterns and like the feel variations that you use between like every eight bars and 2 measures, whatever. It's like it gets pretty intricate. So that there's some. You
just got to get that shit out like ASAP. Like as soon as you start writing, just get all that bullshit out there. Don't even worry about arrangement and just get as many tracks out there as possible.
So I guess with that, were some of these like, did some of these have to take longer? Like, let's say, you started like 3 or 5 tracks, and then you started and you had like, but you said you had a bunch of other projects. Were some of these like really old and then just ended up
some of them
9 out of 10
years old. But some of them were almost finished. Some of them were finished, but I just never put it out. And the project file's deleted, so I just actually what is it? More Humble. That one, like I accidentally deleted the project file like 2 years ago, but I had the track and I just found it. I forgot I made it, honestly. I threw it in there. It sounded good. I'm like, wow, it's not bad for 2018, I guess, for me. But yeah, definitely tracks from a couple years ago that I just started that I liked. I actually went through, I had 100 maybe works in progress, and I went through all of them. When I discovered in myself I was going to do this album, like, all right, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to just fucking gung-ho. And I went through all my works in progress. I'm like, you know what? I'll keep that one. I'll keep that one too. And like, I kept a lot more than I thought I would. And that's why I ended up with all this. And I was just like, fuck it. 26 tracks, 25 tracks. Like no one's ever really done this before. Like, why not? I'll just take this pandemic time. It might take a year. It might take 2 years.
Not in Hawaii, man. Not in Hawaii. And for those listening, this, you guys can find Vissex basically on everywhere. And his album that we're talking about is called Long Intros. It's definitely a long album, but it's a good album.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
What about you, dude? When's your album coming out? You got
what about me?
Out?
So basically,
your production is like insane, man. You're the OG. You're the OG when it comes to all this. Like, you inspire me a lot.
I love that the fact that we're still doing the thing representing Hawaii, man. Me, you, Chance King, fucking, you know, of course, Carmack is obviously ripping and running, dude. Fucking and I got a couple other homies in other genres. My boy Weaver, he's fucking doing his stuff in like instrumental hip hop and stuff. And he's doing like, he's got a side job basically mastering. He's been doing that for like 5 years or so, 5 or 6 years.
That's what I kind of want to get into.
Yeah,
mastering on the side.
It started.
Seems easy enough.
It depends, you know.
Like fun enough.
I guess it's almost easier to say, like, it's easier to work on somebody else's work than it is to your own.
Exactly. Like, that's definitely it. It's
but to answer your question though, I
think it's more fun like working on someone else's track, like because it's you bring out shit that they don't hear, and it's beautiful for both of you, honestly, because you're stoked on their talent and they're stoked on like just how much better you made it sound. Like I love that.
I'm gonna send one of my tracks to you that unmastered just to see what.
Oh yeah, okay.
Why not? You know what I mean? Like I think I'm gonna do that for you and my friend Weaver, Jared Jones, that does that. His name is Jared too.
Okay.
And but for me, like I don't know if I'm gonna actually. So I had this plan for like the past 2 years. Like I want to do another album. I did a couple of them under the J-Rod name, and like I loved doing it. It was mad fun.
Oh wait, you're not J-Rod anymore. You're
no, dude. I am the Buckness, dude.
The Buckness.
I've been the Buckness for like
it's been a while.
5-6 years now. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's been a while.
I've just always associated J-Rod Buckness like practically.
Dude, you can associate it however you please, sorry. Man. But so anyhow, I had like stopped putting out tracks under that. I mean, there's so many J-Rods out there. You look up J-Rod on anything, you get like a bunch of rappers from like all different kinds of areas. And
that's true.
So it didn't work. And there's no one with the name Buckness. And
Buckness.
That
it's just Buckness.
Originated from this dance that was called crumping. And Buckness was kind of used as like a moniker term-ish, but it wasn't like it was more of an adjective in a way. And so I kind of continued saying it just in general in like the electronic scene and fucking like, I'm like, dude, what?
Just caught.
I might as well. Yeah. Because even some other people were saying that as, you know, wherever I'd go, like Buckness, what up?
Yeah, that's you, bro. Definitely.
And so I'm just like, kind of embody that. Might as well brand this and turn it into something. So I wanted to do an album under that name, but I've been like releasing singles and a couple of remixes over the past couple of years. And my thought was like, okay, I mean, I'm talking with somebody right now, and this person has kind of helped guide me into a direction of like, okay, if you put out this whole album, you're putting all this energy that you've put in one go. And then what? You know, it's like the fact that I have this, and
then what?
And I could tell a story with like the total tracks on there instead of going like genre speed. Like where we go? There we go. That's
some dynamics. Yeah.
There we go. So from genre speed, right? You know, I was gonna do that whole thing again, but it would have just flown by so fast. I think. I mean, I'm even just thinking of other hard dance albums I've listened to. Yes, you know, for sure. Like for somebody who listens, I kind of keep some of those in my pocket and like remember specific tracks on them. But then again, there are some tracks that maybe me as an artist like really like and I want kind of everything to get a little bit of attention that I would like, you know, as a, you know,
exactly. You deserve
artist,
it. You
right?
spent all this time on it. And that's kind of it's the negative side of releasing 26 tracks on an album. It's hard to get a bunch of people to listen to it. That's why I'm so grateful you actually did. And the people that have actually listened to it all the way through, like that really means a lot. That's like, it's as long as a movie. So
it is, dude.
Wow.
It's pretty hefty, man. Yeah, no, I love some of these tracks, dude. I mean, outside of the faster ones, like what was it? Power and Go and Weird. Like I Want Your Love, that Green Machine track. I was like, whoa, that kind of like, I was like, all right, dude, you're going next level. Even Ozone, just the whole mix on that was just like,
Ozone was the one that I almost I almost cut Ozone. The mix on that was like really hard to work with.
Oh,
I just changed the kick. That's all I did. I changed the kick, and like everything just changed.
Everything glued together.
Much better. But before, like, it was just kind of a thumpy, not so much top kick, I guess. Tried to make it work so much. Didn't. Sometimes you just got to change the kick, and it really, like, that's 80% of your track, honestly. Especially in house music, hard dance. Hard dance, definitely. I'd say that's 90% of the track. If your kick's like just a little off, you know, it's really going to eat at everything else.
That's true, man. I mean, shoot, that's funny. I'm working on this remix that
how many you got?
Huh?
How many you got in the oven right now? How many tracks you got in the oven right now?
Well, basically I'm trying to split all these tracks into 5 EPs, but
holy shit.
Some of those EPs aren't finished, you know? They're not finished, you know, some of it's not finished. I know for the next 2, I definitely have stuff in the works, and it's going to be like this kind of whole surrounding planet Buckness thing, and I already kind of like electronics and gear and space stuff and like robot shit, and like a lot of my sound designs are robotic-ish, you know, and I'm just like, yes, that's
you're going for it.
So I want to have the visual to kind of go with it, and so that's why I'm splitting it up like so, because I think it'll actually be able to show a little better about what this whole Buckness project should look like and sound like.
Yeah, I feel it. Give you more time to focus on like the content surrounding the project as well.
Yeah, and
a good quote I heard about like content is like, if you have a gallon of water, I guess you don't want to spill it out all at once. You want to like kind of drizzle it, and that's kind of the same way with content. If you have all this water, which is content, you don't want to just like kind of splash it on everything so fast. It's kind of season your fans with it every now and again, and then increase that longevity.
What if you did visual videos with your album?
That's the fucking thing. Like, I'm not even close to begin to thinking about something like that. I have no idea why. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just not there as an artist yet, where like I think about how my visuals or like a music video would be. But it's something that I would love to look into. And if you're out here doing it,
dude, I have a hard time with it.
We can put a little more content
all the time. But if I'm out there, dude, I'm definitely bringing my camera, and you know, like you mentioned earlier, it's like easier to look at somebody else's work and stuff like that, and be like, okay, this is what I think should look cool, you know. And for some reason, I think I would have a easier time with shooting somebody else's video than figuring out what I want to do for my video. And
it's it gets a little weird because you second guess yourself endlessly when you, especially diving into something like you're not used to. You just got to make a bunch of shitty videos just to like be comfortable with yourself making good
just like
videos.
When we first started making music, right?
Just like music, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's demoralizing, but I mean,
you know what? It's all for the fun, and you just got to keep it moving, you know? That's the key. You just got to keep the ball rolling.
1% better every day. If you're 1% better every day, you're 3 times better than you were last year. Math.
I'm sure it gets exponential as months pass, I think, really.
True. Oh yeah, so it'd be more. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. I mean, I know I'm still going back to that beginning thing of like, you did this all on headphones and stuff like that, but really, I mean
they're pretty fucking good headphones. It wasn't like AirPods. Although like Meow, I really tried to just do that one all AirPods, but
really
I listened to it on headphones after, and my ears were like practically bleeding. There's just so much high end. It's ridiculous. These are good to produce on because they're noise canceling and like you can fucking move around and dance. But they're just, you know, the worst quality ever. But sometimes there's some merit to that too. Like if you can get it sounding good on some low quality stuff, then ideally maybe when you mix it down on higher end audio or higher end gear, it might be a little easier to nudge into place. Rather than like, if you get used to it, definitely. But it's easy to fuck everything up.
I literally just take my stuff, put it on my phone, and then I go right downstairs to the car, plug in Bluetooth, and my neighbors probably hate it, but probably not as much as me living above them.
Do you export and like, fuck, the kick's too loud, go back upstairs? Like,
yes, and I run back up and I like know exactly where to turn it down. Exactly. Yep. I have not been utilizing my laptop speakers though, but I have these like little Samsung earbuds and the same thing, but those almost like are meant to sound good with whatever you throw at it in a way.
Exactly.
Almost like beat my power beats or whatever.
Yeah.
So
those headphones they're fun.
They're fun.
They can definitely hurt your ears after a while.
You know, they're intended to you kind of spit out just well, you know, whatever you kind of throw at it. And I think that's why those earpods are like, that's magnificent, dude, that you do that. Yeah. And already the fact that you're on headphones, I mean, like I mess around with these at night. These are the Sennheiser HD6XXs, and then and occasionally I'll bust out the Audis. I have these.
Audi, you have those?
Yeah, I have some. Yeah, these are the LCD-Xs, and I mean, and then again, it's like from time to time, they get either too heavy or you know, I can't listen to them the long periods because it's like so close to my ears, and I don't know. I'm starting to get a little more concerned about my actual hearing quality long term, so I gotta like take them off, man. Keep them at low level. And there's still things, of course, you know, that I still am second guessing, you know, and but maybe just because my ears suck, maybe because my skill set isn't exactly the sharpest. That's why I'm like trying with these tools.
That just means your standards are higher.
Huh?
That just means your standards are higher than where you're at. Doesn't mean that you're actually on a lower standard yourself. You just set a high standard for yourself because you always output so much quality.
Thank you. I think after just going back and forth with the more finite tools, though, has been a learning experience, that's for sure. And it does help with workflow. It really does. I mean, like I am able to come back in. I leave the room for 15 minutes. I'll come back in and like make decisions like fairly fast.
Yeah, definitely.
And I've been doing that whole mixing in mono, like you had mentioned, for like only the past year. I mean, like I don't know why I've like never invested in like
right. I've known about it for
referencing, mixing in mono, listening on laptop.
I don't need that. Speakers. I'll figure it out. But it really definitely when you take the time to do all that. The boring stuff really, and like it really helps.
It's important though. Definitely. Yeah,
it is important.
I know. I think I was just naive in the past and like this should resolve on these, so I should listen to it anywhere. And I was doing a bunch of dumb shit back then anyway. So I think it all just added up to make sense of like this is not the right workflow anyway. So
yeah,
here we are continuing to learn though, dude. And have you ever heard of crossfeed? Like with headphones, I mean, your workflow, you're already set, but like recently I found this plugin. Let me try to see if I can quickly open up Ableton. It's basically what it does. It's like, because headphones, right? You have this whole circle and you have like the entire frequency response, especially these are planar, right? You know, and even with dynamic drivers, they're round, right? You know, it's like one single thing, and sure, they're designed to kind of create an image or a,
kind of emulate
soundstage, right? You know, so what this crossfeed does, it almost sounds like that. It's almost like emulating how speakers respond in a room. Like the bass is going to be a little more centered this way, and as the frequency gets higher, it like starts to widen out, and it has a delay time with the amount of frequency that you're actually quote unquote
I see, because like
crossfeed point,
just how sound works and where it's coming from. It takes time to hit your ears.
Yes,
definitely.
And how
crossfeed helps with headphones with that. Crossfeed is for headphones. It's like a software.
It is for headphones specifically, and crossfeed is the actual terminology.
I see.
Yes, and let's see if I can get you a link. It was free. I mean, I know of this one by Goodhertz called Can Opener, and here I'm going to send you this forum page that I found, and I guess even for those that are interested in listening, for whoever decides to listen, I'll post it in the details. in the comments. So yeah. But I posted that in the chat. There's a little button on the bottom of the screen that says chat. I can also send it to you in a message later. But check it out.
I just got it. I got it in the chat.
If you don't, you don't.
I will. If it's free, like fuck.
Yeah, it's a freebie.
You were mentioning help me out, and it's free. I'm definitely gonna check it out.
What was that plugin you were mentioning the other day with me on the phone? I can't.
Soothe. SOOTHE. Soothe by Oak Sound. Let me find the.
So wait, what does Soothe do again?
It's like a dynamic resonance ducker.
Really?
Something like that.
Oh yeah, okay. Dynamic.
It's like an auto EQ but not like it's not like a shaping EQ. It definitely just soothes. Like you can soothe your bass, your mids, but I use it for top end, and it just definitely lightens up. Because sometimes I like to just crank distortion so I can add a lot of brightness. But it's just way too fucking tingly, and you listen to it on like AirPods, your ears will start like just hurting real bad. It's just like a spike. So Soothe really helped out with that. It's so subtle, but it definitely adds up. I'm trying to send you the link, but I got distracted.
I actually think I found it. Oak Sound.
Oh, you found it? Okay, yeah, Oak Sound.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm definitely gonna check it. For some reason, I remember. Do you remember Keish, DJ Keish from Hawaii?
Yeah, definitely.
He was. I think he had mentioned this to me, and he was the one that said, "Dude, mix in mono. Dude, mix in mono. Dude, mix in mono." And now you're saying,
mix in mono. Whatever.
I'm like, and it's made
something
sense.
About someone just telling you something. You just don't want to listen to them. That's how a lot of people are with me.
So I have a question about mixing in mono for you.
Yeah.
So when you're mixing in mono, and I noticed this, what I'm kind of second guessing things. Do you want the frequency response in the center to match what is heard once you disengage your mono?
Ooh. The frequency response in the center.
Do you want it to match what's being on the sides?
Ooh.
Or do you want it to just generally sound clean and then worry about the stereo field later on?
Yeah, that's what I do. Mostly I'll worry about the stereo field later on. Like I won't pan anything until after it's all kind of like mono mixed. Like mono, I'll fucking volume match everything. I'll try not to use any processing like EQs and compressors.
No,
Stay away from that until after arrangement's done. Like maybe sometimes even like reverbs. I have reverbs and sends. Reverbs and delays. I have 4 reverbs and 4 delays on my sends. So it's so easy to just like pop up reverbs rather than having to do all the bullshit, dry, wet, blah, blah. And so I'll try and stay away from EQs, compression. I'll use some overdrive if I need it for the tone. But once I get the tone and the sound, like 80%, then I'll just kind of move on from there. Arrange, maybe get the flow right. Then once the track is like practically done, then I'll go in there, mono everything, level match everything. I'll start with a kick and the bass. Like mute everything else, kick, bass, and mono. If you can get that to work, everything else will be like so much easier. Like no processing, no drive, like none of that shit. You want to add those in slowly. So the the most important thing that could have been done, volume matching, is done with most efficiency. If that makes sense, because you're not blinded by anything else. So you match everything mono, blah. Start with their bass, your kick, and then your bass, and like the snare, the hi-hat, the rest of the drums. You kind of get all that sitting tight in mono. Then you add a lead. Your lead, your catchy shit, get that sitting tight. Slowly bring up the background elements from there. And then from there, once it's all monoed and sounding good, level-wise, I'll compress, EQ if something's too muddy. And that usually can pick that out pretty fast once you're doing the volume matching. And you find that gap, like, okay, it's too loud over here, too soft over here, but it still sounds like shit. It's easier to focus in on those things. You can go in, EQ it, or change the dynamics with a compressor, add some drive need be. And that's really it. Like, I only use really 3 things: compressor, drive, EQ, sometimes like Portal to get crazy like, have you seen Portal?
Is that an output plugin?
Yeah, it's like a granular,
yes,
grainy effects delay thing.
Yes, my buddy showed me that for the first time the other week. He made like a pad out of like something so basic, but it sounded so sick. I'm like, what? So yeah, shout out to KG, man. Dude, thank KG for showing me Portal, and thank you, Vissex, for renaming it because my friend
Ted Front Business put me on that.
Huh?
Do you know who Front Business is, Ted?
No. Is he from out there?
FRNT. He's from here, and he's fucking sick as fuck.
Is he?
He's an amazing producer. He told me about Portal
really
and all types of shit. He makes like, I don't even know. He makes whatever the hell he wants.
Where is he from?
It's like a city pop, indie funk kind of soul kind of thing. He's from here, or he's from Brazil. I know he was born in Brazil, but he moved here. He's lived here for like all his life, I think. But yeah, he's really talented, but just underground. Like, doesn't really like fuck. he could move out there and really,
You'll have to send me his stuff later.
Yeah, this guy kind of just putting him on blast right now. Sorry, Ted.
Nah, it's all good, man. I'm giving some shout outs to some homies too. Yeah, definitely send me some links later and stuff, man. But shoot, we are at about 30 minutes.
Oh yeah,
maybe a little over. Yeah, I think so, man.
Wow, that flew by.
I basically just wanted to call and just kind of hear your workworkflow and kind of see kind of what your process was.
Oh yeah, this was fun.
25-track album.
I still got to dissect your brain because like you've been doing this longer than I have, so you have some tricks up your sleeve that I would like to know.
Yes, we will do a part 2 in the near future.
Okay.
So in a minute, I'm going to stop this recording. Anything you want to say to the folks out there?
Thank you for watching. And I hope to see you soon, rocking some dance floors,
where can we find your
sexy
stuff?
House music. SoundCloud, Apple Music, Spotify. Just look for long intros on there if you want to. It's a long album, but it's pretty good. I think so.
And that's my
boy. Thank you for listening.
Vissex, Vissex, and we'll post links in the comments below. Long intros, ladies and gentlemen. This is my boy from Hawaii, dude. We've been doing it since day 0, and still representing the.
I was there like day 2. You're already doing your thing, and then I kind of showed up a little later.
Hey man, we'll still continue, dude. Fucking, we're here now, so let's keep rocking this shit. I'm gonna stop recording. Peace out, people.
All right, man. Peace.